This review is for multiplying fractions by whole numbers. And we've talked about how fractions are division problems. So really what we are doing in kind of one step and sometimes two is multiplying and dividing at the same time. So when we multiply by a whole number, we're just multiplying it by that numerator. My denominator doesn't change. So 3 times 1 is 3, and my denominator is still a 4. Again, multiply just the whole number by the numerator. 2 times 1 is 2, and my denominator is 3. On these instances, there is no more division step. Sometimes, as we see later on, we might have to divide to find that mixed number or whole number that it's turning into. So 4 times 1 is 4, and my denominator is 5. 2 times 2 is 4, and my denominator is 5. So both of those were 4/5. The next one. 3 times 2 is 6. My denominator is 6. And here's where I can do that division. 6 goes into 6 one time. That's 4. Here. 5 times 2 is 10/5. And 5 goes into 10 two times. On this one, 2 times 3 is 6. 8. And on our last one, times 2 is 4/4, which is the same thing as whole. On the back, there were some multiplying fractions by whole number word problems, just to practice seeing them in word form. We're doing the same thing. We have 10 players, and 2/5 of them are girls. So what we're really doing is breaking apart 10 into 5 groups, and then figuring out how many people are in 2 of them. And it's almost a shortcut to do it with our multiplying, because it kind of does the steps together. So 10 times 2 is 20/5, which is the same thing as 4. So out of those 10 players, 4 of them are girls. Okay. If I wanted 1/5, I would divide 10 divided by 5, and that's 2. And since I want 2 groups of them, I have 2 and 4. Riley and her brother ordered a pizza with 8 slices. They ate 1/4 of the pizza before going to play. How many slices did they eat? Well, and since I'm multiplying by 1, it's 8/4. So really I'm dividing. How many times does 4 go into 8? They ate 2 slices. Number 3. Christy is making cupcakes for her 6 friends. If 2/3 of her friends want chocolate, how many chocolate cupcakes will she make? So we're doing 6 times 2/3. 6 times 2 is 12. So I have 12/3, which is 4 cupcakes. If you wanted to make your number smaller, you could do the division first. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then multiply times 2. But I like following this pattern because it works every time. My next one, 10 students in Mr. Burke's class signed up to order lunch. 1/5 of them wanted a hot lunch, which means 10/5 of them wanted a hot lunch, which is 2 students. Okay. And that's our multiplying fractions by a whole number review.